What is up, fam? Dean Soto. Welcome to the channel. And you are here for a reason, and I'm very excited that you came. You're probably wondering, who the heck is Dean Soto? Why do I care? Why should I subscribe and like all of his videos and push the notification bell and all that other stuff? Well, that's a great question. And to get started with that, before I get into how I went from virtually nothing to being a multimillionaire, living in the country with chickens and turkeys and all that other jazz, 9 kids, a beautiful wife, and essentially living the 4-hour work week, before I get into that, ultimately, I want this channel to be a resource to you. I want this channel to be a resource that you can use to go from wherever you are now to where you want to go and be. It's predominantly business, predominantly entrepreneurship, but ultimately, who is, or should I say, what is your number one asset? What is your number one asset? Your number one asset, oh, looking good. Your number one asset is not your bank account. It's definitely not your house if you have a mortgage on your primary house. It's not any investment properties. It's not your portfolio. It's not anything like that. Your number one asset is you. And so we are going to dive into everything from entrepreneurship to mindset to motivation to ultimately where I want to go, which is where I put most of my effort every day, is living a 4-hour work week or less. And that comes with developing systems, understanding how to deal with people, how to delegate, how to automate, how to create processes, how to develop partnerships, strategic partnerships, how to do a whole mess of different things that lead to helping you develop more time. Because as you are the greatest asset that you have to have time to devote and invest in that greatest asset. Because let's say you have a wife, you have kids, you have whatever. Yes, they are super special. Yes, they are extremely important. And yes, I might be a little bit cocky saying that they are your number 2 asset. However, what the heck? Friggin' Tesla, what are you doing? The realistic thing is that if you go, they go. Everything that you've built, your family, your kids, if the king dies, the kingdom dies, right? If the king doesn't rise, the kingdom dies, as my mentor Garrett J. White says from Wake Up Warrior. You have to devote time to you. You have to be able to get to the space where you can devote time to you. Ultimately, it's going to cascade to your wife, then to your kids, and then to who? Everybody else, your business, and so on, right? So that is the focus of this channel. So if that sounds interesting to you, if that sounds like something that you want to do, to go from literally where you're at right now, it could be 0, it could be, you could be making 100,000, you could be making 1 million, you could be making whatever, to go from there to doing that. Maybe you want to make more money. Ultimately, you're going to make more money and you're going to make more time. Time is the most valuable, especially when it comes to the number one asset, which is you. So we focus heavily on that, because ultimately you do that, you're going to make money over time. Long story short, if you want to really hear my story, if you go to prosulum.com, prosulum.com, I did a whole documentary about my story, about what I do, and so on. It's a actual documentary. It's a cinematic documentary about what we do. So if you want to hear the full story, going from abandoned as a child to with my mom and dad divorcing at 2, to living from apartment to hotel to mobile home to motor home to trailer to sometimes I didn't even know where we were, to go from that to my mom dying at an early age, not knowing my father, living on the edge. I even remember one time we had to have Thanksgiving dinner at the Westminster Mall because they had a food drive for the poor. And normally, right now, when we do food drives or any type of philanthropic stuff, I'm on the side where I'm giving. But in this sense, I was on the receiving end with my mom. To go from that to flunking out of high school to ultimately becoming a multi-millionaire with hundreds of people who work for me, amazing people who work for me, I mean the best of the best, to strategic partnerships with some of the best and greatest people in the world, Inc. 500 and above, people who are just on the top of their game, friends that I could never ever possibly have imagined, and living a full life, 9 kids, 6 girls, 3 boys, beautiful wife, 20 acres out in the country, Tesla Model S, other cars on the way, doing all of that, going from virtually nothing on the brink of starvation to multimillionaire. If I could do it, you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. So if that sounds interesting to you, stay tuned. Lots of awesome content coming, different topics, and I'll catch you on the flip side in the next videos. Go to prosulum.com, prosulum.com. That is what I do. Check out the documentary there. You'll love it, especially if you're a business owner. It'll show you how you could easily live the 4-hour work week, no matter how much you're making, no matter how many people work for you. It could be thousands. You could literally do whatever you want, whenever you want. prosulum.com, and also subscribe. All right, see you.